It's crunch time here in the studios of Austin Peay. Reece Britt, Christian Hunt, and Dylan Walton with me. All three of us back at it again. I feel like we haven't had all three of us in the same room talking about this stuff in a long time, guys.
It's been like, what, 2 or 3 episodes at least?
At least.
Yeah, something like that.
I think I missed the last episode, right? And then
I missed the week before.
Yep, that's right. Yeah.
And then I think you missed the week before that.
Probably. I've been in and out over these past, and I told you guys that was going to happen. I said, I was going to be, in and out pretty consistently once, the middle of March hit, and that held true. That definitely held true.
The boys be leaving me. They don't love their little brother, bro.
But there's one person that always shows up, and that's you, right?
Yeah, Dylan's the only guy that's been on every episode.
That's only because I'm slightly available. Wednesday is literally my only free day in the week. Hey. That's literally and I'm booked every Wednesday. I'm booked till 7 o'clock.
Gosh.
From 9 a.m. to 8 o'clock. Or 7, 8 o'clock.
It's that RA life, man.
It is RA life, bro.
It's that RA life.
And the student,
Oh, that's true, yeah.
Yeah, and a student.
About to graduate.
And a human being, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And a human being.
Yeah.
About to graduate. Yeah, graduation May 3rd.
Come on, bro.
May 3rd.
Dude,
I'm coming to graduation.
Are you going to come? Which one, 9 a.m.?
I don't know when. There's a couple golf guys that are graduating. So what are you in? I mean, obviously you're in communications.
Yeah, but
so
I think mine is. Somebody told me 9 a.m. I ain't checked yet.
Okay, so probably if I know you're there, I'll be there.
Yeah.
So yeah. But I'm glad that we're all back and all doing well.
So boys.
So yeah, it's great. But let's get right into some Austin Peay baseball. The Base Govs. They're coming off a win over Belmont 9-5. That was last night, correct?
Correct.
Yep, last night. So APSU is also coming off a series win over Bellarmine.
Oh, excuse me, 13-5. I misspoke. It's 13-5.
13-5. Yeah. So when I saw that, I was like, I swear they posted something like middle of the sixth, and it was like 10-2. But they could have had a typo, done something like that, so I didn't really pay attention to it. But the Bellarmine series, Austin Peay took 2 out of 3 games in the series. Bellarmine took the first game 9-6. So let's talk a little bit about that right now. Not what we drew up, right? A team like Bellarmine, you got to get all 3 games, and it's a little tough to see a team like Bellarmine come into your place and get a win. But all in all, 2 or 3 games, that'll be okay.
What did we talk about? I think it was the last time we were either all together or I do remember us talking about Bellarmine baseball and how they were the worst team in the conference.
Yep.
And we said, watch them find a way to squeeze one. And what did? They squeezed the first one.
Let alone the first game.
The first one. So it's like, golly. I mean, you win the series, which is goal number 1, which is what you want to do. But it's like you said, like when you have the worst team in the conference at your home field,
gotta get her done.
You got to get the brooms out. You got to sweep them.
You have to capitalize on that opportunity.
Because it's like you mentioned this a long time ago. When you go these 2 out of the 3 games, those losses pile up on you.
They end up doing, that.
And I mean, obviously, we're still doing well. We're still at the top of the ASUN, but it's like the losses are they're staying right along with the wins.
Yeah, and I don't think we've swept a conference series this year so far, which, whatever, right? Like if you get 2 out of the 3 games, you're going to be at the end of the season, you're going to be right up there in the top 4.
Yeah, you at least be like 600, 700 win percentage. So.
But it's the fact that other teams are sweeping these teams that you're losing a game to in the conference, So it's like if other teams are sweeping these teams that you're dropping a game to, then you're starting to creep your way down in the conference standings as you go. When teams start sweeping other teams that you lost a game to, there's a tiebreaker right there. And then let's say you lose a series to the team that swept the other team. Well then now you're even making your way further down the list. So it's just something to be mindful about. But at this point in the season, I think our best baseball is ahead of us. Ultimately.
Yep.
We play some really good teams.
It's about that time. We bounced back. We lost the first game, and then we lost to Evansville right before Bellarmine. So, 2 games skid. Now you're on the 3-game win streak. So, the rhythm is there, but is it real rhythm because you beat a bad team? Is it real rhythm?
A win's a win.
A win is a win, but we've all played sports. Mm-hmm. Some of those games that you were blessed enough to win that you shouldn't have won, but you don't really feel confident in the victory. So are we feeling – because we got an ASUN matchup. Is it this weekend?
Yeah. It's got to be,
Yeah.
Tied for first in Jacksonville.
That's what I'm saying. So we need to bring the bats, bring the gloves. We need to bring the pain.
We need to bring a lot. We need to bring a lot to the ball field this weekend.
But, Jacksonville's tied for second, but they have a losing record. overall.
It's
but they're
interesting.
9-3 in the conference,
Yeah.
and then we're sitting there. I think we have the second best record. We have the second best record overall.
Yeah, we do.
Stetson is first at 22-10. We're sitting at 19-13 with the second best record, but because our conference record is not as good,
Yeah.
and Jacksonville and Stetson are tied, and then Florida Gulf Coast is, sitting there second.
Yeah, and again, it goes back to the conversation I've had with so many people that having a football team, a good football team, really makes those secondary sports not struggle a little bit, but maybe struggle. Because you see teams like Stetson, really good at baseball, really good at basketball. You know what I'm saying? Really good at golf, even.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have a football team.
Well, even
it's like.
They
Florida
don't
Gulf
have a
Coast.
football team?
No.
Florida Gulf Coast is the same way.
Jacksonville's the
the
same
same
way.
way.
Yeah.
So, and I'm glad we have a football team. Do not get me wrong on that aspect. I love having that atmosphere in the fall. But when it comes to this time, like we see Stetson at the top of every single leaderboard. We see Lipscomb do the same thing. They won the ASUN baseball last year and they made it to a regional. So we just see all these teams. Where it's just we might be in the wrong conference for what we want to do, if that makes any sense.
It seems like football is always going to be upper
Sure.
upper
as it
echelon.
should. As
As
it should.
It's
ultimately.
football. But it's almost like for other sports, basketball, baseball, softball, golf, beach volleyball. Here, I'm speaking here. For all the people, I'm speaking here. Seems like we're at that threshold where like we could almost be good if we had a little more funding or a little bit more whatever it's supposed to be. Because our sports here don't suck. I've been to most events. They don't suck.
We're competitive in pretty much all of our
Yeah.
sports.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
But we're also not great either.
yeah,
in any of our
exactly.
And
sports.
that is what we're missing. All of our sports are good enough to be entertaining and good enough for them to get a couple monies, nice jersey every 5 years. But we won't. I think we deserve something great because we're right there. We're right there.
We don't even have to, like you mentioned, having a really good football team. You don't even have to have a good football team. Just having a football team is just, you have to have so many eyeballs on football that, like you said, if you don't have football, that all goes to another sport.
Exactly.
Basketball, baseball, softball, volleyball,
Lacrosse.
anything.
Yeah, and there could just be a little more financial help for those secondary or smaller sports rather than, have a football team and it's just so financially draining. But I don't want to stick on that for too long because I'm very grateful that we have a football team here and a football team that's very good.
Yeah.
And that's very qualified to make a lot of people turn heads to Austin Peay. So
We got a good baseball team too.
We
I
do.
mean, Lyle Miller Green had a night
Hey,
the other night.
watch him. Yeah, what did he go 3 for 5 or something like that?
Yeah, he
So-
went
boy.
3 for 5. Let me make sure, but he went 3 for 5, and then DJ Merriweather got the win.
Yeah,
which he's
DJ.
he's 4-0.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, shout out to him. He only pitched 2 innings though, but he didn't give up any ER. He didn't give up any earned runs. So I mean, shout out to him. But we're starting to. It seems like we're starting to split the pitching up a little bit.
Yeah.
Because he went only 2 innings. Luke Rowland went 3 innings, and then you had a couple guys go a quarter of an inning, and then Caden Washington and Tyler Hampu, hope I'm getting that right, they both pitched 1 1/3 innings. So
yeah, it's I think that's from the people that I've talked to that are close to the baseball team. That's what happened in the first game. Is our bullpen kind of we're still at this point in the year, like you're still trying to figure out what your rotation's going to be coming out of the bullpen. You have your 1, 2, 3 starters for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but you don't really know quite yet who you can count on for the first game coming out of the bullpen, in that second game and third game and so on.
Because they matter.
They matter maybe more than the starting pitcher, to be completely honest, especially at our level. Like, because if you're a starting pitcher at this level, you're probably not gonna go 7+ innings, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna go 5, maybe 6 if
on
you're
a good
dealing,
day. On a good day,
and then you're gonna get into the bullpen there. But I think that's what happened in the first game. Bellarmine got the bats hot. We didn't have our best guys coming out of the pen with their best stuff, and that ends up in a loss. But I mean, ultimately that's nor here nor there. But APSU now holds a 19-13 overall record, 7-5 within the conference. Currently sits 3rd in the ASUN standings, as Stetson and Jacksonville are currently tied for 1st. FGCU is 2nd. So the Govs' next ASUN matchup will be this weekend here at home against Jacksonville. That's going to be big. The Dolphins.
I wish I could go, man. I wish I could go. I'm sick.
Yeah.
I'm sick to the heart.
Well, I'm sure I went to one of the Bellarmine games, I think on Friday or Saturday, Friday, right? Something like that. But and it was a packed house, so there's going to be a lot of people there and a lot of people supporting the Govs. So that's I'm excited to see what they can do.
Baseball's a great casual sport.
It
to watch.
is
So good,
Great sport to
so
watch.
peaceful.
so good.
Yeah.
No, it's awesome. But real quick before we move on, I want to do a social media reader here. If we can throw up that little graphic that we got. It's going to be at APSU Crunchtime on both Twitter and Instagram. So that's at APSU Crunchtime, both Twitter, Instagram. We try and do as much as we can on that with the limited time that we have outside of our
busy.
yeah.
What's
duties.
this we stuff? It's Reece.
You guys have the login information. You guys can post whenever you want on that.
It's the same thing with role players. You guys have the login.
Well, with the limited time,
I forgot we got the login.
You were the one that was like pushing for it, though.
I was until I realized how hectic 3 months before graduation is.
Oh,
That's
my
true.
gosh.
Somebody should have told me that.
It's always a good idea until you realize, like, oh, I don't have the time for
But
it.
next year, though,
that's great.
next year when my schedule is a whole lot more simpler and way less hectic.
When it's my schedule too.
Yeah, similar to
Yeah.
your schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah, life would be a little bit better.
But I'll tell you, anytime I'm walking through here going to class or whatever, you guys are always hard at work. So I
Yeah,
don't
y'all always move.
That's not
I
true.
mean-
Steve Sawyer can attest that's 100% not true.
All right.
I appreciate the shout out, but
yeah.
it's not.
I always
I'll
catch y'all
take-
after lunch though.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. I'll take Steve's word for it. You guys don't work hard enough.
Nope.
Uh,
I'm sure Steve is like shaking his head up and
Yeah,
down.
he's like, yep.
He's like 100%.
Absolutely. But let's get into some APSU softball. So Austin Peay softball is on a 4-game losing streak. Quite the contrary from what Austin Peay baseball is doing right now. They starting with an 8-0 loss in Chattanooga. Austin Peay would then be swept by Jacksonville, losing 2-0 in the first game, 5-4 in the second, and then 6-2 in the third. This puts the Lady Govs at 17-21 overall with a 3-9 record in ASUN play.
Yep. And they don't play Martin today because that game has been canceled.
Yeah, they're supposed to be like storms, right?
Yeah,
later?
it's supposed to be raining. Great. It's been raining all week.
Yeah,
so.
it's been crazy.
Yeah,
It's been so crazy.
It's been gross.
But
honestly, it's been
It's been
disrespectful, bro.
gross.
yeah.
It's supposed to be in spring, man, and we're just getting rained on 24/7.
I thought the groundhog hedgehog. I thought he came out the hole.
I mean the temperature's nice, but it's just not been sunshine. It's been clouds and raining for the past couple days. But so yeah, the Lady Govs now sit tied for 8th with Queens. The Govs will see action today against Martin. As we just said, it's canceled. So do not show up to that game because there will not be players on the field playing. So don't show up there. But yeah, the Govs will next see ASUN action this weekend on the road against EKU, which they are leading in the ASUN. So I really don't know how to chalk this one up, but
might be tough.
yeah, that's going to be a tough. You know, maybe get a game or two, and if you can get 2 games off of EKU,
If you can steal the series,
yeah, if you can
turn this thing around.
yeah,
We asking for a miracle. It's tough, bro. I don't know if y'all looked at the rest of their schedule, but it's basically it's ASUN play for the rest of the year. Maybe like minus one.
Let's see, Tennessee
one game.
Tech is one. That's it. Tennessee Tech's the last one. It's ASUN the rest of the way.
So what you got about 12 to 15
yeah.
ASUN games?
I mean, your overall record right now at 17-21. That's not terrible. But it's when you
what conference play for the rest of the season.
When you look
too.
in the ASUN and you're 3-9, it's like
it's a little concerning.
Things are going to have to start changing. And I don't know what that is, whether that's, at the plate, a different approach, or maybe getting different people on the mound. I haven't seen the run differential. I mean, obviously, we're not giving up too many runs if you're losing by, let's see,
3,
6,
4.
5.
Everything is single digits.
Yeah, when you're losing by 13 runs combined, between 3 games, it's like that's not too bad.
You just gotta make contact, bro.
Yeah.
Why is it that way with our women's teams? It always seems like our offense has been deficient in our women's teams this year. Why is that a thing?
I mean,
sure.
it goes back to women's basketball. It goes back here. I don't know.
That's a good question.
How do you? Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, I don't know how you answer that other than the coaches.
Philosophy or something.
Philosophy or doing scouting on, they favor more defensive-minded players rather than at the plate or, from the offensive side perspective. I don't know.
We got the plate down at least with Benefield.
Yeah,
We got that
right?
part down.
Yeah.
At least with the
She
pitching.
got that by herself.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
great. She's great. Along with the other ladies as well. I don't want to discredit anybody. They working.
Mhm.
But we know who the pitcher is. We
Yeah,
know.
I mean, and like I said
know too.
before, with softball, it's different because Jordan Benefield can pitch 2 out of the 3 games if they really need her.
Yeah.
She could pitch all 3 games if they really were in desperate need of something. But I mean, at this point in the season, it's like you kind of almost have to look at yourself in the mirror and be like, all right, like we have to figure something out ASAP. Like we do not have any more games to where we can figure things out. We should have already had stuff, in stone rather than still trying to, maybe throw something at the wall and see if it sticks. But I mean, I hope for the best, really, because
That sounds so sad.
it does. But I mean, Dylan, what do you want me to say, dude? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to be sitting there like halfway, almost like 60% through the season, being like, all right, we got to go through a lineup change.
Yeah.
We got to like do this and that. I mean, but we're talking about that with baseball though. Like the pitching is still not set in stone. We got kind of 2 guys that you look at and they're like, all right, these are our 2.
Yeah.
We're still kind of trying to find that 3rd or 4th, starting pitcher. It's the opposite with the softball. It's like we got to find somebody who can put bat on ball.
Bat on
It
ball.
may be strategy. Like maybe you need to just bunt. Maybe throw a couple bunts.
See, and that's what I was thinking is if we're getting runners on and with 0 outs and we're not bunting and moving runners over and getting them into scoring position, then that's maybe where strategy can come into play.
Or maybe even changing the hitting rotation because if I may be faster than Reece, but Reece get all the contact.
Well,
let me
you
go
definitely are faster than
Well,
me.
yeah.
I'll go ahead and say that.
So let me bat before Reece because if he
Yeah.
always gonna make contact, I can maybe steal, then get plus,
Right.
what he gonna get off the back end.
Yeah.
So it's like you got a 2 for 1 right there, and really you ain't have to pay nothing at all. So you really got 2 for free.
Yeah.
Plus more.
And
What a
you know,
coupon.
and this is just kind of literally a coupon. This is just kind of my background with baseball is that like if you're a top of the lineup hitter 1 through 4 and you're struggling with let's say a curveball, right? Because the pitcher on the other side is going to throw he's going to mix his pitches to those guys at the top of the top of the lineup because they're better. In quotation marks, right? But maybe move like the guy that or the girl that hits 3rd to 7th to see more fastballs, and then that's more of a flatter line, get more contact,
And that way 6 and 7 can get some momentum at 2 and 3 more than 6 and 7.
Exactly. It's all about turning the lineup over. Like if you can do that, if you can turn the lineup over 2 times before the 3rd inning, you're in good shape. You're in good shape because all those hitters have seen that pitcher and her pitches at least 2 times. And so that 3rd time up, they know what they're seeing. If she likes fastball away, they're like, all right, take that opposite field. Rather than, first time up, you're like, well, we'll see what happens. I'm going to just see elevated fastball and try and hit one out,
And don't let you get something breaking down, and don't let it break hard either.
Yeah.
I fall for it every time.
Yeah, Dylan's falling for the breaking ball.
Yeah, I'm fall.
We should get a softball player on here and see if we could hit a pitch off.
There's no
her.
shot.
I think I can get one.
I think I could.
Out of
I
10
could
pitches,
do it.
you might be able to get one. Your hand-eye coordination kind of.
I probably could not. I can't hit a baseball, so
Softball bigger though.
I can't hit a golf ball.
It
dude.
is, but it's coming at you
A
very
whole-
fast
yeah,
from
a
a
whole-
very short,
sharp angle
distant.
too.
Yeah, yeah. And all baseball pitches kind of they tail almost down in a way, but the softball because you're coming from an underhand motion, it's all tailing
That's
like
what I'm
up
saying.
and
Yeah, that
in.
angle different. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And then the way you got to hit. Shout out to softball players. It ain't.
Oh my
That's a different type of. That's a different type of sport right there. I can't lie.
But that's going to be it for Austin Peay softball. We wish them the best. I know we're going to keep following along with them, but some things are going to have to change, whether that be batting pitching rotation, batting lineup, something like that, strategy, wherever that may be. But we wish them the best. But a team that's trending in the right direction, as many would say. The men's golf team, Austin Peay Men's Golf, is coming off a 3rd-place finish at the Big Blue Invitational. We actually had the overnight lead, and we didn't play bad the 3rd round. We really didn't, but a couple of 2 other teams, Samford and Belmont, they just played better, and that's kind of how it goes in golf, and really in any sport. You can play really well, but if the other team plays better, you're probably going to get beat. That's what happened. Yeah, it's okay. I see you put Reece on here. I'm not going to read that off.
Reece
I didn't
Britt
play too well.
finished 40th
No,
overall
that's
out of
terrible.
223 contestants.
No, there was not.
No, he scored 223 overall.
It's not good.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, there's not that many contestants.
That's not good.
My bad. I thought this said 223.
There was probably about 120 players.
Oh, so you top 30%.
Yeah, but
so we're in the good category.
Yeah, you're in the good category.
Yeah, that's not good. I did have a bogey-free 69 in the second round with a triple on the scorecard. So that
sounds
was
like some superhuman stat.
No, that's not.
That's not good.
No, that's not good.
A triple bogey's not good, but I did have 5 birdies to back it up. So it was.
What was going on, bro?
I don't know. I wasn't feeling it really too much. I mean, I just didn't. That's how golf goes. It's like baseball. It's like I look at 3 golf rounds as a trip to the plate in baseball. You get 3 strikes. We get 3 rounds. And it's like I put bat on ball for one of the rounds, but the other 2 I couldn't find it. Yeah. But,
so how does that work? Like, how do your confidence work in that? Because that's a one-on-one confidence. It's not like you got teammates to constantly can't nobody feed you the rock. Can't nobody get you a pass or get you a touch.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I think I never really my identity's not in a golf score. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's really not. So whatever I shoot out there, it's not gonna my confidence isn't gonna go higher, isn't gonna go lower.
Even keel.
Yeah, just
you
because of what I shoot. Yeah, it doesn't define me and who I am as a person.
That.
So I don't worry about it too much. It's just it's a way to pay for college and I enjoy it at the same time. So but on a brighter note, I mean, my teammate Jacob, he fired what was it? I'm trying to think of the math. 6 under par, I think it was, for a 3rd overall individually. So also the team got 3rd and he got 3rd overall.
So, out of 100,
out of 110 players or something like that.
He gangster.
No, he's a good
That's
player.
Tough.
Yeah,
he gangster.
It's sad we're losing him after this year. He's a 5th year guy, so he's got a lot of experience. And
PGA.
I think he's gonna try and do something like that. But
good luck,
or LV.
Yeah, maybe throw him a live contract if anybody's listening out there. So. But the next time the men's team will see action will be in the ASUN Championships, the 21st through the 23rd of this month in Dothan, Alabama. A lot of good teams. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Our conference has the ASUN conference in golf is probably their strongest sport. I mean, we have teams like North Florida, Florida Gulf Coast. I mean, for the mid-major level, it's really good. There are 5 teams that are ranked within the top 60 in the whole country. So that's counting the Alabamas, the Tennessees,
this top 5.
Yeah,
P5, whatever you call them.
Power 5. Yeah, it's everybody. So we're gonna have to play some really good golf to compete with that. But
so you gotta lock in, my guy.
Yeah, I better figure out something pretty dang quick.
You gotta meditate or something.
I better figure it out.
Why is it that you guys have such a longer layoff than the women's?
It's just how scheduling works. Our coaches handle that a year and a half in advance. So we'll get invited to different tournaments, and it's just the way that the ASUN lines up with our last tournament. So, I mean, the women's ASUN, I think that's next week, maybe?
It's this Sunday, I think. Well, let me look at the rundown.
Could be.
I'm looking
Starts
at it.
next Sunday.
Yeah,
that
next
would
Sunday.
make sense because they'll go straight from the women's down to the men's for the next week. Yeah. So it's usually the women's will usually go first and then the men's, just because the men's usually happens a little later and there's a lot of more men's tournaments later in the year than there are women's. So that's kind of how that goes. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, we're gonna have to play some really good golf to make it to regionals. But when you tee it up, anything can happen.
Yep.
And I love that.
Anything is possible.
We'll see that. We'll see that with the Masters this weekend.
Exactly.
Yep.
I'm so excited.
I've been getting the notice. I'm excited. I'm gonna tune in a little bit. I'm gonna learn.
We're gonna talk about it in that other show. So I think we'll get more into depth there. But on the flip side of the men's golf, the women's golf team, Lady Govs are coming off a 4th place finish at the Any Given Tuesday Intercollegiate. Jillian Breedlove led the Govs in the second round, shooting a 1/72 to pick up 10 spots on the leaderboard. Katie Fashog carded a 2/73, and Miss Kaylee Campbell shot a 3/74 in the second round. Breedlove, Campbell, and Fashog are all tied for 21st in the tournament with a score of 5 over par, totaling 147. The women's team's pretty good.
Pretty good.
They're pretty good. I'll just say that.
Defending champs.
Yeah, they're legit.
Say that again.
Defending champs.
Defending champs of that tournament. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They our freshman year they won the OVC. Last year in the ASUN they played pretty solid. But obviously there's a little jump between OVC and ASUN competition. But the biggest mover for the Govs in the second round was Maggie Glass, who shot a 3 over 73, picked up a dozen spots on the leaderboard. Glass was tied for 39th in the field with an aggregate score of 8 over 150. And the next time the Lady Govs will see action will be in the ASUN Championship starting this Sunday through next Tuesday. So I think they've actually played the same course earlier in the year as the ASUNs is going to be at. So they kind of already got kind of a feel for the course.
I know that feels good.
Yeah, it is. And it's in golf, it kind of means more than in other sports because, a football field is 120 yards long, 53 and a third wide, right?
Yep.
But a golf course is going to be different no matter where you play.
It's gonna be different.
Time.
It's gonna be different at the same course. Like you go play a 9-hole course at the same place as you play an 18-hole course. The course is gonna be two completely different.
Exactly. Yeah.
So,
and in the last time they played, it was raining. The course was wet, and the balls weren't flying as far. Now, since it's been a little drier of recent, especially in Alabama. The ball's going to be bounding down the fairway. The greens are going to be a little firmer, so you're going to have to land shots short of the pin and control your spin like that. So people don't realize.
You nerding out right there.
No, that's when people don't realize how hard golf is.
Dude,
man.
Golf is hard.
No, I know golf is hard.
Yeah, like you have to. There are just so many things you have to think about even before you make contact with the ball that most people just don't even realize.
I just want to grip and rip it.
Yeah.
I just want to send a driver 200 yards like I'm normally accustomed to.
Yeah.
I didn't this weekend when I played 18. I was playing like garbage.
It's all right. Where you played
Riverside and Old Hickory. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Riverside.
Yeah,
I need to play golf.
Dude, I'm telling you, next year we need to get a show together.
Yes.
Like just get us all mic'd up, get a camera, and watch us all play golf and watch Reece mop the floor with us.
I gotta have a training session, at least 2 to 3 training sessions before I go out there.
We'll take you to the range.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me
I was about to say you don't go out there and expect to just
I'm not.
fire away first.
I'm an athlete, bro. I know every sport has a sweet science to it.
Yeah.
And I respect every other athlete in the world.
Yeah. Golf has like its own science within the science.
No, I'm already knowing.
It's crazy that like all the just little things. I mean, every sport does too, but like
a half a step back changes a lot. People don't realize that in a lot of sports, a half a step left, right, up, back changes
so much.
Well, what's crazy is when you watch guys reading the green, like trying to like either putt or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like they got to see whether it breaks left or right. They got to see if it's gonna roll or if it's gonna stop. No, I mean I'm serious. It's that in itself is crazy,
dude. It is, and imagine playing on, like you just said, you played on some greens that were kind of sandy that you could really hit the ball, pretty firm, and it was going to stop around the cup. We play greens that are moving for golfers out there like 13 on the stimp meter is like putting on this like right here.
Yeah, it's going to roll.
It's going to roll.
On the what meter?
It's called a stimp meter. It just measures how fast the putting surface is. Yeah, so it's like if it's moving at like an 8, it's moving pretty slow. Like you're going to have to hit
surface.
Like the green.
Like grass.
The grass. Yeah.
A green is like really mowed tight, like very, very tight.
So
I know.
Yeah, so when
but
you go,
like
they measure how fast that goes, yes.
Because you got to see like if you really knock one up there and it rolls, then it's going to roll right off, and then you're back to square one.
Pretty much, yeah. So you there's just a lot more.
You learn something every day, man. They measure how fast grass moves.
People that say golfers aren't athletes, that is the biggest load of what there is, because they just have.
Ain't no accuracy like none other though.
I mean, dude, there are things that we do that people wouldn't be able to do if they even wanted to. So it's interesting for sure, but. Yeah, we're excited for both golf teams going into the ASUN championships. It's just another opportunity, and that's all you can ask for. That's all you can ask for. But that'll do it here for Crunch Time. I want to thank a few people: Doc V for letting us use the studio, Steve Sawyer and David Ellison, all the GAs, Trey Whiteout, Paige Hearn, Isabella Christensen. I want to thank you guys for being on the show. But the people back there, they make this show run. We just sit here and talk about sports, so they're the ones that everybody needs to thank. But for now, until next week, that's Crunch Time.